All right, we made it back. We got a trailer full of potential here. Well, I was able to sell this crusty abandoned Supra for $34,000. I was asking $35,000 and went to a good home, to a drifty boy, and can't wait to see him finish it up. If you watched my series, I did a lot of work to this car, and it turned out pretty good. It was a great runner, but on to the next. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Streamline Builds. As you can see, I'm just kicking back, relaxing, enjoying this beautiful Texas day. I mean, what else do you do when you're just filthy rich, buying cars for 10 grand, selling them for 34,000? It's a good life. So join me on this adventure. See if we can do it again. What's up, guys? On our way to pick up another abandoned project car. I did so well on the last one, that 95 Supra. Figured what better thing to do than roll those profits into another project. I looked at this car in the dark already. It looked really good underneath, and you know, none of the panels have been replaced or messed with. I couldn't find any paint work or anything that, you know, showed the car had been disassembled or messed with by anybody that wasn't a professional. So it looked like a really good, solid car, and the price was definitely right. So made the deal, got the trailer loaded up, and it's just about 45 minutes away from me in San Antonio, and we're gonna be loading it up here in just a few minutes. Short wide truck, MR2, Scout, 55 Chevy, Fastback 67 Mustang, Cutlass, C10, clips back there. Guess which one we're getting? None of them. We're over here. This car in this row here, it's Evo over here. It was actually abandoned in that lot, and the guy's dad owns that lot, so he was able to apply for the mechanic's title on it, and now we're just gonna wait for him to show up so we can check this thing out and load it up. All right, finally back from dropping off the trailer. We'll just do a quick little walk around of this thing. 5 minutes of ownership, I already damaged it. Little plastic under tray, kind of tore it up a little bit, caught it on the edge of the trailer, ripped this chunk of the bumper off of its clips. So try not to do that again. But first thing I noticed, got a nice chip in the windshield. Not too bad, you know, can get Lancer stuff for this, so it's pretty easy. And along the body lines, from what I saw, I checked every single one of these stickers. They all match the VIN. Everything looked clean. I didn't see any tape lines around the car anywhere. Of course, I did look at this in the dark the first time, so I didn't have the best eyes on it, but I tried to look for any damage, you know, little dings or dents, stuff like that. No sunroof, because race car, of course. The interior looked pretty good all around. There's a few, you know, little wears from the age, which is average, and you know, I wouldn't have thrown these parts on the seats, but hey, to each their own. This window comes up a little crooked. I rolled it down so I could get in and out of the car on the trailer. Door wouldn't open. Horn works. You know, I don't know what this is. All AWC. Let me know what that does. Like I said, I've never had an Evo before, or an STI. I had a WRX once, and it was a pile. And don't expect a whole lot more from this car. You know, I like my drift cars, but this thing, it's got a following for some reason, so I'm ready to find out what it is. I might cruise this thing around for a while and see how I like it. We got some leather shredding off the shift knob, E-brake works, thank God, because one issue with this car is we got a real floppy pedal. I don't even know how someone did this, but they managed to remove, how do you pop the hood on this thing? Ugh, that's stiff. So it's got an aftermarket sound system, stereo with a backup camera, apparently. That's what the guy told me. It's got the little stubby key in the ignition, and then it's got whatever, this key fob with a bunch of other keys. And I don't know, when I like walked up, it was all beeping earlier and stuff. I don't know if that means it's like auto unlocking or whatever, but I like this trunk spoiler. It's pretty sweet. I thought I popped the trunk. Come on, boy. Maybe I just popped the hood. There we go. Okay, so like I said, we got one ding here we're gonna have to work on. And then the bumper, I did not see this in the dark that had been hit right here. Kind of sucks. I wasn't planning on fixing that. You know what I'm saying? But she's been sitting a while. You can tell by, you know, this kind of thing. People just don't care, apparently. Just park under trees and let hailstorms and whatever come at them. Do their worst. Not a fan of that. I like to keep my stuff clean, keep these jams cleaned up, you know, even on my work truck. It's a disaster. So, looks like when this got hit, pushed up this trunk seal just a hair as well. Okay, so with that stereo, you've also got this Pioneer box, which, gosh, I hate that kind of stuff. I didn't know these had the battery in the trunk. That's kind of cool. Got a Kenwood amp. Some, what are these? A little ladder. Could climb up on the roof or something. I don't know what that is. Weird. Hey, look at this little work box. I like it. Work bag. Man, it's just like the Supra all over again. There were so many like screws and bolts and junk that shouldn't be in a car in the Supra. Whew. Freaking nice extended drill bit. That's 20 bucks. I'll take that all day. What do we got here? Phone charger? No. Some old AC DC adapter. Little mini screwdriver. Jeez. Little funnel for your California fuel pumps. Alright, we better not get those screws all over my driveway. I ain't gonna like that one bit. Jeez, all kinds of little metal posts. 4-way jack. We'll cover for our thing. What is this? ATF fluid controller? What? What does that do? It looks low. That for the diff or something? Like I said, I don't know anything about these Evos. What's this? A little amplifier or something? Weird. I don't know what that is. Somebody tell me. Let me know what that is. A battery hold down, I'm sure of that. And I'd love to look under here and see if there's a spare tire and stuff, but gosh, there's too much crap. Something else under here, a little cover, probably goes over that battery box, I'm sure. And yeah, let's just throw our amp and sub on it. Wreck it all. That's the way you do things around here. Washer fluid. Wow, washer fluid in the back. This really is a race car. I never knew it. That's amazing. Putting all the heavy stuff in the back, including this heavy hitter. What is that, MTX or something? That's a big boy. This person loved the beats. They were beating something. Okay. Give me that battery cover. Quit trying to damage it. Jeez. Idiots. Okay. Let's keep that in one piece, would ya? Get this stupid sub box out of here. I mean, you really need 2 subs? Children. You children are ridiculous. Alright, so coming along. Looks really good. I looked underneath. Everything in here. We got a little shrinkage on our seals, which, you know, that's normal-ish to be expected. I'd probably run this in tight and then try and spread it out, stretch it a little bit, maybe when the sun comes out. What do we got here? The social network. Wow. That's probably worth the money. Tells you how to be a millionaire. Okay, so we got a couple covers, some junk all over the interior, needs to be cleaned. We got a new line for our clutch, I believe. He said this was a all aluminum clutch master cylinder, and the original is plastic or something. And then we got, what else? What else do we got? On this side here, we got, he thought there was something wrong with the motor, and so he's got some, I believe these are like BBTI deals for the cams. I don't know what you call them on a, you know, whatever kind of car this is, Mitsubishi. But there it is. What's this? A bunch of paperwork. Wow. Building plans for Microsoft. Highly confidential. I like that. What? A CD case. You did not see that. White Castle. These are DVDs. Predators. Social Network. We were just there. What else? The One. Man. Shawshank Redemption. Dude. This is... that's gold right there. You ain't getting that from me. What do we got? Okay, so this is our new brake booster, which is missing. That's why we got that floppy pedal. And we'll just take a gander here. This concerned me a little bit. This fiberglass, I mean, it is rough to the touch. You feel it, and it's, ugh. You can hear it. Ah, like nails on a chalkboard. That needs a heavy coat of filler primer and some paint to bring that boy back. Let's, whoa. Did you hear that? Ugh. How is the hood full of garbage and debris? That's awfully strange. Let's put the prop rod up. Okay. So, here's the motor. We got our turbo. That guy was flying by with his turbo, apparently. A lot more tree debris, pine needles. Apparently there was bolts here that I did not know. They made the whole journey. Dig that. Hopefully they're for the brake booster, because you see we got a master cylinder here. She's just living its best life out loosey-goosey. And way back there where our brake booster goes. And here's the hose for the power brake booster. I mean, look at the space you have here. How did you even get that booster out of here is my question. Like, all this stuff in the way looks ridiculous. I don't know. They must have pulled it out and then what? Put everything back together because brake boosters are way too expensive. They just didn't want to, you know, put a new one in. I don't know, but oh, here we are. This thing's awfully filthy. Jesus would not approve. We need to do a major cleanup on this thing. And, you know, on the good side, like I said, it doesn't look like anything's been abused or messed with. Just whatever mechanic got a hold of this thing last. This is kind of just where it was left. We need a little polish on the headlights. Clean up the car real good. It's been sitting a long time. Pull everything out of the interior, clean that up. Clean all this. Put our new brake booster in. Wherever the clutch master cylinder goes, I don't even see that. Is that in the trunk too? Is that how they do it on these? I mean, everything's in the trunk. You got this coolant reservoir up here. Stock airbox, stock everything. I like that. It's good to see, you know, all the paint matches, nothing's been damaged or wrecked or anything's ever been taken apart. Like I said, all these VIN numbers match on here, and the hood, the trunk, everything. It's looking good. Like, this was a solid, legit car. And what happened is it was just left. They left this thing at the mechanic shop it was at last. I assume, you know, the motors for these things are around like $4,000, so used, and to rebuild it they probably wanted like, who knows, $7,000-8,000 plus all their labor costs. They're probably going to say, oh, we want like 12 grand to rebuild this motor, pull it out, do all that. And at the time, I mean, the car was only worth 15 to 20, so whoever owned it, and obviously there was some kind of brake problems going on, and they were just like, whatever, I'm not paying it. And so it was left at that auto shop across the road for 2 years, I think. And then the owner of the shop's son was like, well, let's just put a lien on it, get the title. So they got the clean title in their name and took it over, had the keys, everything. So that's how I ended up with it. And next scenario, the owner's son obviously wanted it because it's a cool car, it's got potential, and he tried to get it running. So that's why he bought the brake master cylinder or booster, he bought the clutch parts, bought all these things to try and get it like legit and going again. And when he got it running, he showed me a video of it running, and I've seen it crank over. Like, it'll crank over right now, but I didn't want to do any more damage. It does have, there was a little bit of metal shavings in the pan, and it does have a loose rod on number 2 cylinder. So my plan is going to be to clean everything up really good, pull the motor, and just do a full rebuild on it. Either turn the crank or get a new crank. I'll probably just get a new crank, and then check out the clutch, all that stuff. Drain all the fluids front to back, make sure everything's really good on this thing, and see what it's got. It's sitting at, what, 119,000 miles. And what else we got here? We got a cool little plug-in in there, USB. Where's the auxiliary? And let's see, I haven't opened the center console. Alright, so one more thing I want to show you is underneath. I looked at it in the dark, even I could tell, you know, factory chalk markings, all the body seams, the frame rails, everything is just so straight and clean. And that's what you want to see on a car like this, you know, something that you're gonna invest your time and efforts into. You want to make sure that it's worth your time and efforts. And that Supra, man, I mean, I made almost 20 grand off that car, and I don't know how. I was worried, put it that way. But thank God I got rid of it, and it was, you know, everything worked out kind of the way that I had hoped. And with this, who knows? It's always a gamble. We're going to try and rebuild the motor, do it ourselves. We'll have to pull it apart and see, you know, if there's a ridge in the cylinders, how everything looks. You know, it had some metal shavings in the oil pan. They checked it, and they pulled the pan off and said number 2 rod was loose. So as far as we know, at least we're gonna have to turn the crank or get a new crankshaft and go through it, check the clutch, check the transmission, all the fluids and everything, and just see if we can have some fun with it. That's what I'm gonna do.